Welcome back to Cautious Hero, Anime Review, episode number 2. This I'm covering episode 7 through 6, which adapt this book right here, book 2. And these episodes introduce a few new characters to the series. Basically, these episodes introduction of Matthias, the goddess of archery, the father and daughter duo of Wallix, and Razila Rosegard. Though Razila basically, she makes her debut first. Yep. Now, these episodes start up exactly where episode 6 left off. We have the Knights of the Rosela basically come to retrieve them so they get to take on a insect being named Bell Bezo, who basically his English dub actor sounds a lot like Todd Eppercorn. Though, for some reason, there's no English credit for him for some reason, but it sounds a lot like Todd Eppercorn. Yeah, and he basically is dealt with by Toya, not Toya, by Seiya, and just like that. Like first he sees that, oh, the bug creature decides to lift up Rosala's men and basically drop them like the reverse fireworks, basically make him the frickin' pancakes. Yeah, and of course Seiya, pretty much like didn't like the fact, of course, Reyes decided to insult him. Resolute decides, so he proceeds to do something he does do in the book as well. He proceeds to slap her like crazy. Oh my gosh, he slaps her what seems like about 10 times in the face, basically make her cheeks like nice and puffy. Luck off, she goes that goes like pretty quickly. She does cry about it, but yeah, even I have to look up here basically. I have to get her name right. Even started basically saying, yeah, that's a bit overkill. That's a bit overdoing it. So basically, give them 1 hour to train for 3 days in Divine Realm. So how do they train? Well, as for the two, well, Mush trains with Curtis. Ellie trains with one of the sorceress, and as in the case of Seiya, he needs to learn some special skills, so he learns from the goddess of archery. And Reyes does not know about her reputation, where she tends to have a lustful desire to sleep with every single hero she comes across. Oh my gosh. And she does fall in love with him, of course. Apparently, during the course of the training, she apparently took the time to have a final lesson. She strips out naked, ties herself up, and tells Seiya, shoot her bonds. Yeah, this is so she can have sex with him. Yep, he doesn't do that. Nope, he just shoots her in the head. Look up, she's the goddess, she doesn't die. Not in the Divine Realm. But he's doing 3 new skills, and then he takes on the bug creature and deals them pretty easily. Oh yeah, and also, it's not actually the sorceress, it's actually Arena, the goddess of Seal. She's able to unlock his special ability. He can transform basically his one arm. And of course, Ellie basically can use you can speed up stuff or slow stuff down. So he has Mush after he pretty much kills all the bugs, got them all up just so that she can do cleanup duty. Basically frying them clean to a crisp. Yeah, it's not explained why he actually does this until the final episode of the season of why he does it. So, okay, say the creatures. Okay, so let's go rest up with this in. Yeah, and we see that this talisman attack, and it turns out we have another Demon Lord General. Yep, the third one, Kazu, who turns out was a dwarf from previously. Yeah, and apparently he took the time to kill his own family. And Seiya's like, he just kills them like instantly. Yep, and then we have a meeting where Seiya meets the king. Yep, he shows up at the place because, well, like the members attack the capital, so the king basically comes out and says, and of course, Rey's like, you gonna help him? He's like, nah, I'm not gonna help him. He can handle this. And they proceeds to kill the last demon general pretty easily. and wipe out what is there for his army. And then he turns to a baby. Yep, he turns to a baby. Apparently this was a curse done by the actual Demon Lord. So, and like they get back inside, of course Rosalie comes back and like sees her father like this. Of course he gets turned back normal pretty quickly. And of course he thanks him for coming by. And then here's another Demon Lord, another army demon basically he goes up, but says like, no, you stay here. And of course he also mentioned he wanted to give Reyes a tour of the cathedral. Like, you stay here, take a tour of the cathedral. You two come here because you have my baggage. So let's go. And then, like, excuse me. Then it's revealed that Warhawk is actually, like, he tells basically a secret about this special weapon that can kill gods and heroes. This chain destruction power. And then he walks behind the statue of a goddess. Don't know who this goddess is. And comes back around with a demon with a demon sword. Yep. And he uses his sword to try to get Reyes. Lucky enough that everybody shows up, including his own daughter. Warhawk's own daughter shows up, and Seiya basically battles him, and nearly gets killed by him, though he gets wounded like in a slight little in his temple, but he's able to beat him after a pretty grueling battle. It's probably by far not exactly the quickest battle of the series. This is probably the most lengthiest battle of the series I've seen, where it takes more than just a couple minutes just to beat one particular person. This took up roughly about 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes of screen time. And he basically said to beat him, but he tells Reyes to heal him after she heals him. Just so that he can say goodbye to her father. He can say goodbye to his to Rosa. He basically passed in the head because apparently when he was younger he would always do that. And she says, please do one more time. Of course she kept the secret the fact that he was a traitor. And buried him with honor because of how well respected he is. Because it would have tarnished her reputation and people will see her as daughter of a traitor. So, buried him with honors. And she, of course, and here's the thing, just before her father died, Seiya proceeds to slap like crazy again. Yep, second time in the series. Don't worry, he doesn't do it anymore after this. Yep, and after she becomes new ruler, she doesn't really do anything after this. Well, she just show up once in the final episode, but after her father's death, she actually is absent for most of the next couple episodes of the series. So, like episode 11, day off. And of course we have Reyes, Mush, and Lou basically going out shopping. Yep, buy some swimsuits, and of course some gag about the swimsuits. Yeah, it will be, and of course Lulu basically wearing one particular swimsuit makes perfect sense for her to wear it. And of course we see Mush basically comes across a swim trunks with flames on it, which makes perfect sense because he's a dragon kid. Yep, it's a fun little time. Of course they're gonna want to go gambling. And then they get back to and like, they're like, wait, where's Seiya? And then they go back to Binding Realm and Miranda Andrea. And then they go straight to this time sealing room. Of course, you know about this particular soul thing about basically if gods or heroes get killed with this particular weapon, their virtual souls within this tree will disappear completely. And we get Beerus to tell Seiya's previous backstory of why he's so cautious and why he does the whole cleanup duty. And Andrea was actually his goddess, and it turns out that Reyes was actually apparently his girlfriend. And it was later revealed when he was fighting the Demon Lord of that world, who's basically some kind of fish monster. Apparently she was pregnant with his child. Yes, and she was a princess, and she was a healer. Of course, here's the thing. These two are never shown making out at all, despite the fact these two were basically lovers. And yet, I would have thought that they would throw that in, but nope, they didn't. That was kind of weird. And of course, Demon Lord proceeds to kill his whole party, with the exception of him. He, of course, sent back to his own world. And, of course, Reyes is shocked by this, and of course, she goes straight to the Demon Lord's palace with the two companions. And they get there, and Seiya's already battling the Demon Lord. And he's, Oh yeah, and before they get to, I should mention this. He proceeds to one of the battles, like when he's taking on the Demon Lord, he proceeds to become as a Reaper. So basically, the Reaper follows him to the Divine Realm, and all the gods basically are taken out pretty easily. Even the goddess of war, and he does like if you help me beat this creature, I'll hang out with you next time here. And she gets squashed by really easily. Don't worry, she's perfectly fine. Yeah, she just lived in the final episode. So, then they come across, of course, the reason why that he wanted to run this way, because he wanted to run into Valkyrie. Yep, and it turns out she's a painter. Yep, and by the way, it actually is shown here in the actual light novel. Yep, there she is, painting. And she's very terrible painting. Now, like previously, when it looked like she was wearing leather, they tried to change the layer, probably because this is just my personal why they changed to actual chains like it was presented here. Because maybe the writer of the series, Light, probably told him, hey, Valkyrie's supposed to have chains on her, not leather. Change that. So they probably changed, because when you first see her, it looks like she's wearing leather. That's the way it looks to me, and all of a sudden they changed the freaking chains. And she got through pretty easily, and then he's like, hey, show me your place. Of course, he shows off the Valkyrie Gate, which is the move that he would use in the final episode. And while the whole ceiling thing, he's like, okay, let's and of course he comes across because of course it's Valkyrie, and she is completely naked, and so is Seiya. And of course, Rhea thinks these two are having sex. Nope, they're not having sex. Despite the fact both of these two are completely naked. Yeah, they're both naked, but Valkyrie is like, this is training. Really? Your training involves you stripping down completely naked and you on top of him. Really, Valkyrie? Okay. And that comes to play later on when because Valkyrie could take the punishment of the Valkyrie Gate, no problem, but not Seiya. Nope, not after two of them. Takes in the first one, and apparently the Demon Lord has got at least two forms. The first form is kind of like the way it was with the Emperor, where he kind of looks like frickin' Dracula. I'm not really sure why. They didn't really show the beginning of the fight. It's like, oh, Reyes arrived in the middle of the fight. Okay. And they use Valkyrie's skin. It looks like it works, but nope, it doesn't work. And then, as is like basic, unlocks all of her healing abilities to heal him, just long enough for him to use the Valkyrie again. This time, it actually does defeat Demon Lord, but it does talk to him, and lucky enough, the Demon Lord is actually fully defeated. And Seiya dies. Yep, he dies. And Reyes basically decides, okay, she's going to be punished for this because she already knows. And she basically is seeing green with Resolute, basically is back in her regular armor, despite the fact she was last seen wearing a dress. Yeah. And Mush and Ilulu basically just get knighted. And that's the last see of them, because from what I heard, these two do not show up in the next book at all. I haven't read the third book, but they're not part of the next world that they go to. So apparently it looks like about a week passes by, because Resolute basically, my guess is the reason why Ishtar doesn't punish her right away, and this is just my personal guess, because she lost someone close to her. She needs time to grieve. So Adrella shows up, unlocks her frickin' door because she's the goddess of Seal, fixes her hair, and then she proceeds to walk to see Ishtar. First, see the goddess of war, back in her first form, though she basically is nicer to her, and she basically, of course, they both agree, they both miss Seiya, and then we see Martia, and she, of course, has her lustful thing, you better get back to your forest before Ishtar says, yeah, I want to see it one more time. And then Valkyrie comes by and it's like, yeah. Of course, she basically explains to him what's the purpose of the training, and she just basically pats her hand on the shoulder and doesn't do anything after that. She used to bully her, but the thing is, there's a reason why she's not bullying her in this scene. I forgot to mention this. She basically gotten crazy, so she takes strands of her own hair, make this little doll out of her own hair, because Seiya was basically kept stealing her hair, so make weapons, so he used it to basically defeat the Demon Lord. So she goes to face her punishment, and despite the fact she helped save the world, she still gets punished. She has to go to a place called Estidia. I think that's the name of the world. Let's see. It's a new world they go to, which they go to in the third book of the series. Let's see. They go to... Let's see. What is the name of the place? Exophoria, which is a triple S world. And the world they were actually in this whole time was a place called Gasparade. Yep. So she has to go there without, and she can't use her powers because she doesn't have powers anymore, and she has to summon somebody from this list, and it's Sayeb's list, and she's like, she's impossibly cautious. Yeah, that was an addition to what they did because in the book they say he's just cautious. Here he says in the anime is impossibly cautious, and well, sets up the very next season of the show. If we get next season, who knows? Depends on what Fox is going to do, because here's kind of the thing. This was the second to last project they did before they did... Right now, they're doing ReZero Season 2. This is the same company who makes it. And I wouldn't be surprised after they finish ReZero Season 2, or at least there's a team probably working on White Fox who work on Caution Hero Season 2. I hope there will be. But maybe they're going to wait until, and this is my personal theory, maybe they're going to wait until, like... Book 5 gets released over here before they start the season. That's my personal theory, because Book 4 is supposed to come out next month. And as when Book 5 comes out, I don't know. I have not heard exactly when it's supposed to come out, because I think like Book 3 came back in January, I think it was. So maybe it's come out at the end of the year. Who knows? I mean, it started next year. Who knows? Depends upon what the company who publishes these light novels. It's Yen Press. Yeah, that's the one who basically publishes these books. And I actually ordered the third book from Amazon, so I should be able to get that in soon. Okay, so yeah. Final thoughts on this first season of Cautious Hero. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Great show. I like the humor for it. It's similar humor we say from Kunosaba, but it's still a great show. Love the opening theme song. It is utterly fantastic. The name of the theme song for the show, and it's really good. It makes you excited to actually watch the show. Let's see if I can find it here. The name of the theme song is... doesn't really say, actually. Let's see if I can find it here. Let's see, name of the theme song is... I don't know, because I haven't found any info about it. I'm looking up, I couldn't find anything about it. But yeah, it's a great opening theme song, and there's something quite different. Like, every time they defeat one of the 4 Heavenly Kings, like, their face shows up in the opening titles. Like, first it's Chaos, and Death Kana, then it was Itsuger, then, of course, Eraser. They don't show Demon Lord, though. Nope. Of course, he didn't show up the final episode of the season. Which kind of makes sense, because he comes from chapter 49 of this book right here. Yeah. Comes in the third last chapter of this book here. And, yeah. All in all, love Cautious Hero. Can't wait for season 2. Now, what's going to be the next anime going to replace this? That's going to be called... And I this via an email from Funimation called The Help of Fox Cynical Side. Yeah, we'll probably won't take me too long to read the manga for this one, because it's not based on a light novel. It's based on manga, and I'm going to do a review for the series, probably about 2 or 3 episodes. Depends on what I do with it, but that's my next anime I'm going to do. But after that one, it'll be Raising a Should Hero. That's going to be the next one right after that one, okay? But next bit I'm going to do is going to be Comic Corner. I'm also going to do reviews for My Hero Academia and One Piece. And good news is, new episode released the anime today. Okay? See you next video. Bye.